I hate to admit it, but my father has some good advice. Before making some of the hottest made custom choppers, he worked in the steel business for 30 years. He knows what it's like to work hard and build from the ground up. Truth is, if anybody knows anything about how hard these guys work, it's my father.
You get started right away.
In my book, that goes a long way.
I need some inspiration.
You're asking me for my ideas? Did you fall and hit your head? Look, get your butt out to a real site, get a feel for the work and the machines, and you'll get inspired.
For this bike, I need a special carburetor. Something with some giddy up. Now it's up to me to find one, and find it fast. Vinny suggested I contact the new parts dealer down the street. But when I called, right off the start, me and this guy had a bad connection. Now I'm on my way over to see if I can get this carburetor.
Are we forgetting anything, Vin? Something's not right.
What are you doing?
I'm working. What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're chit-chatting over there with Vinny when you should be working on your bike.
We're discussing the design of the tank. Relax, will ya?
No, I won't relax.
Here we go.
Why do you always do this? I just don't understand your lackadaisical attitude. Listen, just get it done. Now.
You know, in designing, it's important to communicate effectively. Because I wanted to make sure that this tank had a tough industrial look for this bike. Vinny and I had to talk about ways it could be done. But my father gets all bent out of shape if he thinks you're screwing off. And frankly, I wasn't in the mood for it.
One of the pleasures of creating a custom bike is taking it out for its maiden voyage, full throttle on the open road. But none of this would be possible without the men and women of the highway construction crews. This is the reason behind Paulie's tribute bike. With limited time, Paulie must create a tough, fearless American original.
Everything about this bike has to be safe. At top speed, the front end's got to be sturdy and tight, no margin for error, because when you're going that fast, 1 inch can mean your life. The structural integrity is necessary for the serious speed and power that this bike will create. Being that there's strict guidelines and numerous tech inspections, I have to do some hands-on research. I got to check out these triple trees to make sure that they're regulation perfect. Senior, my high-performance tires never got here.
You got to deal with it, Vinny. It's crunch time and everybody's got their hands full.
I have to admit, I was really stressed out that my tires were never delivered. Since every component of this bike can be scrutinized by officials, there's only one person that can help me out. And since everyone here is busy with their own bikes, I was getting overwhelmed. So I called a drag expert, and he immediately calmed me down. He told me to come over and see him, and that he had an idea that might turn out to be real inspiring. 8 seconds isn't a whole lot of time to do the quarter mile, and in that short amount of time, the gear's got to do a fierce amount of shifting. Drag bikes are required to have a lock-up clutch. Basically, it's got weights on it and engages harder the more it revs. So once the clutch is out at the start, it's air shifting, and pretty fast too. But when I was putting it on the bike, I knew there was something wrong. You want your clutch cable to feel like butter, real smooth, you know? This was anything but. Since I'm running behind, I gotta take this to a specialist and see if this regulation shift box can be repaired in time to stay in the race. You know, I've been around garages my whole life. My father owned a service station. By the time I was 9, I could rebuild an engine on my own. So I have a pretty good idea when it's time to lay down the tools and know when my work is done. Though I never built a drag bike, my gut tells me there's only one more thing to do before this baby's ready for competition. A road test. So I'm going to recruit the Throttle family. Hopefully, they'll take it as serious as a competition, so I can be ready in time.
With a passion for old school and a love for speed, Vinny needed little time to come up with his plan to smoke the competition. Strategy is essential for building this high-octane street drag bike in record time. The day has finally arrived. With just about every score to settle with past rivals and new ones, the Tuttles and Vinny size up their opponents before the big finale. Tensions mount as the loudspeaker announces competitors of each division to a final event.
One of the things I like most about hanging out with my role-playing buddies is that I get to pretend I'm someone else for a day. After a long, hard week of being dysfunctionated, generally humiliated, and knocked around by my family, I like to take a refreshing break and get a little recognition for the genius I am. At least with my buddies, I can abuse my position of power and be the one smacking and making them take out the trash. But this time, I need their creative support. They're letting me borrow some armored pieces for reference for the gladiator bike I'm building. It doesn't seem like a day goes by when I'm not getting mercilessly teased about failing my motorcycle license test. You know, there's only so much pressure a man can take before he takes matters into his own hands.
Doesn't matter how tough the bike looks, if the rider can't handle it.
I can handle it.
Mikey, you couldn't even chase down a grandma on a moped.
Oh yeah? Not only will I chase down a grandma, I'll chase down the toughest grandma bikers in town.
Now that's funny.
It's no secret that my father has a certain style of communication. Let's just say he can be very persuasive. You know, half the situations I get into probably wouldn't happen if I listened to what he said the first time. But being the youngest male Tuttle, I have a responsibility to aggravate the heck out of him.
What's that, a scooter engine?
I thought...
Do me a favor, don't think. That thing couldn't even get a can opener to run. I'm going to lunch, and when I get back, you better have the right engine on that bike. Hey, where are you going?
I need to meet this guy I found on the internet.
What did I tell you about the internet? They're all kooks. What does this nut have you need so bad?
Just a guillotine, gotta go. I want this bike to have a lot of gladiator weapons, like swords, knives, and other sharp objects. Partly because they're cool, but also they may come in handy when me and my father have a disagreement. So, being the internet whiz that I am, I searched for a weaponsmith who was close by. So what if he was paranoid, delusional, and was probed by aliens as a child? So was Paulie, and that never held him back. Anyway, this is the only guy that can help me by creating some cool weapon art for my bike.
'Twas a time long, long ago when men were men and wore dresses, heavy metal dresses. This is the inspiration behind Mikey's gladiator bike. For the first time, Mikey goes solo to build this raging road warrior, sure to devour the competition. With time, his greatest foe, he must complete this bike before entering the arena alone. One mystery yet to be solved is, what does Mikey do? His accomplishments, diverse in nature, provides an essential team spirit. His careful assessment of difficult situations has earned him respect from all.
You know, now that it's over, I need a vacation. Somewhere with some peace and quiet.
There's a lot of tension getting these bikes done, but it's moments like these that make it all worth it.
Yeah, we get a lot of satisfaction building our bikes, but nothing compares to getting a reaction like that from our fans.
You know, now that we're celebrities, maybe I can get a little respect around here?
Don't push it. Tell you what, though, let's give our fans a little respect.
Like most geniuses, Paul Jr. is often misunderstood. What exactly is fabrication? It's an art, a precise science, and one can't be bogged down by trivialities, but rather embrace the nature of inspiration.
Because I'm going with a reptile theme for my bike. It's important that it's fast. That's why I ordered a special engine for this bike. It's exactly what I need to give it the quick Cobra-like speed. I gotta admit, working on this bike makes me feel young. I can't wait to drop the engine in the bike and watch Paulie's face turn green with envy.
Hey, where'd you get this wicked thing?
I thought you might like that.
I like it alright. I don't think a man your age knows what to do with it. You sure you know how to handle this bad boy?
Alright, punk, time to set the record straight and show you I still got it in me. You know, Mikey's always griping about being the errand boy, so I thought I'd give him a little test and get him accustomed to some real responsibility and whatnot. I put Mikey in charge of ordering a fender for my bike, and you know that saying? Never send a boy to do a man's job. Mikey, this is a clutch. Tell me, how do you confuse a fender with a clutch?
To the human ear, they sound exactly the same.
I tell you, I'd blow a gasket if I had the time, but it's late and the parts stores are about to close, and if I don't get the tail on tonight, I've lost a day. I'll deal with Mikey when I get back, and in the meantime, he'll rake the gravel driveway till the cows come home. I'll admit it, I'm a perfectionist. There's no two ways about it. I like a clean shop and people that know what they're doing. Hey, in my world, it's my way or the highway. When this nut called me and told me my transmission was never shipped, I went ballistic. I tell you, my blood pressure went right through the roof. But Paulie gave me a dose of my own medicine. He told me I didn't have time to cry about it. I have to say, when he said that to me, something happened inside. I got all fired up. I thought, when have I ever quit? It ain't in me to quit. So instead of letting this bozo burn my chops, I'm getting to the getting and searching this town high and low for a transmission.
With his reputation on the line, Paul Sr. comes out of retirement to construct a bike sure to make the competition's blood run cold. Paul Sr. gets to the getting, wasting no time to create a menacing force with a mighty bite. Will Sr.'s venomous creation top his POW tribute? See if the old man has still got what it takes. At the helm of this custom chopper shop is a phenomenon known to millions of Americans as Paul Sr., a man whose old-school wisdom commands respect.
Hey, I don't want to ask the same thing twice. The second time, I'm going to use my foot.
Ever wish you could own all the bikes from American Chopper? Now you can.
Let's rock and roll.
Get all the builds, battles,
Get out!
and bikes.
Yeah.
American Chopper The Series, Season 1 and 2. Own them now on DVD.
Loyal, intelligent, strategic, treasured and rare qualities. Vinny is a necessary calm in the midst of a storm. His philosophical, Zen-like approach leaves little time for idle chatter when a deadline looms.